You clicked on this video today because you either don't believe me that cold calling is the number one business skill that you can have, or you do believe me and you're curious to know why. And I'll tell you from personal experience, it looks like I'm a young guy and I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Most of my YouTube viewers think that. And it looks like that I'm sitting in an apartment that my parents bought me and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm here to tell you today that 2 years ago, I was working for $17 an hour. I was making absolutely no money. I had no money saved up and I had no skills. I had no business. And today I have a leasing service that I've been able to scale to over multiple six figures a year just through cold calling. And you can build your service by cold calling too. And that's why cold calling is the number one skill in business, because in such a short period of time, you can make something amazing out of it. And there's a couple things that I want to touch on today when it comes to cold calling. And the first thing that I want to say is, you can build a huge business. You can build a multiple six-figure business by cold calling. And the reason why is because you, as the business owner, are making the active decision to actively seek business, right? You're not making posts or doing advertisements and hoping that people come to you. Instead, you're doing outbound active marketing, which essentially forces you to find new business, right? You're making contacts, you're finding motivation, and you're selling people actively, daily, multiple people daily and actively. So think about that. I mean, if you use social media, I'm not saying that it's not a good way of getting business. It's just a longer way of getting business. If instead of cold calling, I decided that I was just going to post on social media, I probably would have got some business, but not as much business and not as quickly, because social media is inbound marketing, right? Which essentially means you're fishing, right? You got to think of cold calling instead of like throwing a fishing line out. It's more like putting your goggles on, getting in the water with like a net and just like getting them. You know what I mean? That's essentially what it is. But if you're doing the outbound marketing or the inbound marketing, you're putting a fishing line out and you're hoping that the fish come to you. Instead of wanting the fish to come to you and trying to attract the fish, go to the fish. You know what I mean? Catch the fish with a net with your goggles on, because you will be able to catch way more fish if you actually go into the water with your goggles on, get a net, and you start catching them, rather than just throwing a line out and waiting. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing I want to say about cold calling. It is the most active way of finding business. And it's the quickest way of finding business, because you are making contacts actively on a regular basis, consistently, talking to people, making conversation, picking up friends, all these things. So that's the thing about cold calling. It's a quick, easy way to start getting business immediately. Next thing that I want to say is cold calling forces you to get out of your comfort zone, right? So if you start cold calling, the hardest thing about cold calling is pressing the green button and waiting for somebody to answer. You know what I mean? You're like, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? I'm so afraid. What are they going to say? Are they going to reject me? Am I going to be embarrassed? Am I going to be intrusive? Are they going to hang up on me? All these thoughts are going through your head, right? But no matter what, you're still forcing yourself to do it. You're still forcing yourself to make the cold call, which essentially forces you out of your comfort zone. And once you've mastered the hardest part of, that cold call, which is getting out of your comfort zone, you can get out of your comfort zone in so many other ways, right? Getting out of your comfort zone in the gym, getting out of your comfort zone in relationships, getting out of your comfort zone, going out, making new contacts, talking to strangers. Everything in life, like all the good in life, comes from getting out of your comfort zone. So once you learn how to get out of your comfort zone, especially through cold calling, which is one of the most grueling ways to get out of your comfort zone, you can essentially do anything, because you could get out of your comfort zone in any other way. You can force yourself against your own will to do the things that are uncomfortable, which essentially will help you grow in the future. So getting out of your comfort zone, super important when it comes to cold calling. Next thing that I want to say is, once you learn and you build from cold calling, you build by, building a business, making money, you learn that you can, put yourself out of your comfort zone. You start to think that you can literally do anything. And it's like not out of like this like narcissistic weird way. It's just like, right? Like you find out that your ability to actively pursue what you want is stronger than anything else in this world. It's stronger than any other strategy to get what you want. You know, there's so many strategies to get what you want, right? But the active pursuit of going to get anything you want, the active pursuit of going to get that business, to build that business, to make those contacts, that is something that is, it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless, because if you want something in life, we all want something in life as human beings, right? You now, by cold calling and learning that you can do anything, you can go out there, actively pursue it, and do it. Last thing that I want to say is, once you learn how to cold call, you start to realize that you get really good at winning people over, right? So one thing about this world, again, we all want something, and part of getting something is probably making a contact with somebody else who either already has it, or, you know, getting in contact with somebody who can help you get to it, or anything like that, right? And once you learn how to just go and talk to that person who will help you get what you want and ask for it actively, like a cold call, you can essentially win anybody over. You know what I mean? Like the thought of, like, my whole entire job is calling people. They've never seen me. They have no idea who I am. They've never heard of me. They have no idea what my service is. They're probably eating dinner. They don't really care who I am. All of these things, right? And then I win them over and I sell them a service. It's like, once you learn how to do that, you essentially, like, can win anybody over. And that is such a priceless skill that you can have in this world, because, you know, everything is sales. Everything is winning people over. Everything is making people your friend and making people happy. And once you can do that over a cold call, you can do that even easier in person. You can do that in any other setting. And it's so important, so important. So, you know, if you have a business and you've been not trying to cold call because you think it's intrusive, or it's hawky, or it's weird, or it's embarrassing, or you're gonna fail, or you're gonna get rejected, I want you to start cold calling today. And I'm gonna leave you with a tip that I talked about in one of my previous videos. So go have a look if, you know, you want more information on this. But when you cold call somebody, give them permission to get off the phone. This will make you feel so much better going into the cold call. I won't go too deeply into it, but ring, ring. Hi, Mr. Blah. This is Max. I'm calling you about this service. Just so you know, this is a cold call. If you don't want to talk to me, it's totally cool. You can go ahead and hang up now. It's no problem. People love that, okay? They love that because you give them their autonomy. You give them the ability to get off the phone. And it also makes you feel better because you know that essentially through I got a little white dot on my shirt. I can't get it off. Essentially, you know, through steering yourself away from the thought of that rejection, the thought of that hang up, the thought of that embarrassment, that allows you to make more cold calls. That allows you to feel better because you're giving these people the permission to get off the phone. So if they truly don't want to talk to you, if they truly don't want to be cold called by you, they will not answer. And I know this through experience, right? So essentially, that's what I wanted to talk about today when it comes to cold calling. Hopefully you can go out there. I challenge you to go out there and cold call. I challenge you to go out there and actively get business, actively build these skills, because this is indeed the number one business skill that you can have. And I truly believe this. I truly think that I know that you can do it because I've done it. I'm 23 years old. I started doing this when I was 19. I've built an amazing life, an amazing business for myself through doing this, and you can too. And all it takes is really just getting on the phones with people, giving them permission to get off the phone if they don't want to talk to you. And if they do want to talk to you, a lot of the times they're nice. They're not going to reject you. You're not going to feel embarrassed, and it's all going to be okay. So until next time, I make videos like this every single day. If you're into personal development videos, business videos, cold calling videos, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below if this video helped you. If you want extra advice, extra thoughts, things that you want to talk to me about, please put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer your comments. I'm happy to make videos, more in depth about specific topics that might help you grow as a person, grow in your business, and grow through your ability to cold call, grow through your ability to become a better person. So with nothing else being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.